paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Brainstorm Brewery, brought to you by NPR. I'm your host, Ira Glass. Today we're going to talk about Spider-Man. Pre-releases happened over the weekend. DJ worked a card show, and there will be picks of the week, breaking bulk, and potentially even a sponsor pitch. Thanks for listening.
That was good.
This has been Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week, everybody.
The joke is whenever you would say like or you just take a long pause.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm back. I've been gone for the past 2 weeks.
It's been
I have
10,000
returned.
years.
Yeah, I've returned from the depths of hell intact. Let's just put it that way. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure to vend Commander Sealed, which is a charity event in Rochester, and for the first time, I had my own booth proper. It was fine. I've done over 100 magic shows, so I don't think anything unexpected happened. I felt pretty prepared for the whole thing. Very, very pleased with my inventory setup and my structure. Hoping to go back next year with some iterations and changes to the structure of the event itself. I talked to the organizers afterwards, and they were very receptive to the feedback I had. I would grade the event from my perspective. I mean, from an event perspective overall, I think it went very well. We raised somewhere around the $80,000 for a couple good charities, which is always nice. 400-ish heads in the room. All of that was good. I paid $5,000 for my booth. I did around $10K in sales, and I did around $5K-ish in buys, which is okay, but not a bloodbath.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest reason that my event will do better next year, but the event I will be at next year, is the most common refrain I heard throughout the weekend was, wow, we didn't know there'd be a real vendor here, because apparently the year prior, the singles vendor who was there, who was not me, I don't know who this was, and no shade to them, but they apparently did not have a deep breadth of cards available to buy. They did not bring cash to buy. They were just kind of buying sometimes things that people bought from their opened from their Commander Sealed pool. So a lot smaller fish, and I saw so many players look at my display case and think, oh wow, I wish I brought my binder because I didn't know a real vendor would be here. And we came to play. I think my case looked very, very professional, looked on the upper end of what you would see at a Magic Con or a GP, upper 50th percentile kind of thing, not the top of the top end with millions of dollars of cards, but I think I did pretty okay, and I'm very excited to do the same thing next year and hopefully have a lot of the players who have been coming there and going to this event, because it's been growing the past 5 or 6 years, and every year prior it's just landed on a weekend when I was also traveling, because I've considered going to this event just to play, just to hang out, just to be a part of the thing, just to scout it out for a potential future vendor opportunity. And every year it's just landed on a day that didn't work out for me. And so there were a lot of players there who had been going every year since. And last year was the first year they even did have a Magic singles vendor. So very excited to just be the game changer there from now on, hopefully.
Shout out that event's name one more time, DJ.
Commander Sealed in Rochester, New York, but it's run by Just Games. The store is just called Just Games.
Something that I have learned recently with my foray into doing shows somewhat regularly is that it's really hard to improve at shows if you only do them every once in a while. And it's part of why, I think once you start on that path, you should just do every show that you have the opportunity to do, because every time you do one, you learn 30 things, and you learn it by making the mistake in real time, right? You're just oh, I wish I had this with me, or I wish I had done this differently. And just like DJ said, it's all about iterating. Everything in this industry is about iterating.
Oh, for sure. And I'm lucky enough to have been in the position where I got to do the practice run of watching somebody else and be not the captain of the ship 100 times before I took the plunge. So pretty much everything went according to plan as best as I could have planned for. I brought three 3 different Square Reader sources and multiple different Wi-Fi sources. So like Friday, first transaction of the day, like, oh, credit card reader's not working. Good, we brought the backup. Oh, that one's not working either. Good, we have the backup for the backup. That one worked. Like, just all of that was pretty.
Did that
smooth.
really happen though?
Yes.
That's dumb.
Triple redundancy on Square Readers is like, that's the way you have to be.
Why did they fail?
Just one. Yeah, one was like Bluetooth didn't connect. One was Wi-Fi, I think. But like then
That's
I had
so
the one on my phone
dumb,
as the backup of like,
Yeah,
here,
good
just scan
job.
my phone.
Square Readers are pretty clunky. Like they're
You
pretty
double
cheap
played
machinery.
around basic technology failing. Like, what is happening in the world with the enshittification of technology? I'm
But
sorry, that's
the problem is
neither here
Bluetooth
nor
has always
there.
sucked.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there, but that's insane.
Bluetooth sucks and has always sucked.
Well, that sounds like a good trip. That sounds like a good event. Make sure people go check out Commander Sealed next year. While DJ was doing that, I was up to something else. And it led me to this question that I have for the two of you after some discussions with other people. And oh, by the way, everybody, welcome into Brainstorm Brewery. I'm Corbin, joined by DJ and Cass. We're here to talk about Magic the Gathering, Spiderman, Marvel, comics, Ban, all of the above. You should check them out. But I just have a conceptual question for you all. How many escape rooms is too many in one day? Over under 3.5.
So like I think both of our default answer is 0, but like we're gonna play along with your bit. Is that the thing?
I don't
I
know.
disagree. My default answer is not 0.
Okay.
So I think it's under 3.5. That said, 1 is my preferred. I would love to do. I like to do an escape room with my friends. We go get we get dinner. We get some drinks afterwards, or we do it before. Make an outing of it. 2, if I'm with a group of people who really love escape rooms, we do an escape room. We get a meal. We go back and do an escape room. 3, to me, is too many. 3 in one day, too many. Anything above 3 is psychotic.
So I've only done like a couple in my lifetime, and as the newbie of the group, what's like it's like an hour finish for one? Is that like a decent like?
An hour is typically the time limit. Some are a little longer,
Yeah.
but it's so like if you get out, say you get out in 45 minutes of your allotted hour.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Block off an hour and a
probably-
half for each escape room, basically.
I would say 2, and I would also prefer it to be like, I think I'm on the do 2 and then a meal, not one in between. But like, yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
I'm just checking. I went on like a college homies trip over the weekend. We went to St. Louis. It was a lot of fun. And I learned that there are escape rooms, as you will see in the background of my camera for those of you on YouTube watching this. You see that little medal up there? Mm-hmm. That's what they call
You got a participation trophy?
That's what they call a marathon medal, because we did all 5 of the escape rooms in the business back to back to back to back to back.
That's too much.
Setting 3 records along the way. Top 3 records. It was like a second, and a third.
I do love when a bunch of like gamers go to a place that is made for coworkers, and they just descend upon it like the fucking Atreides descending upon Iraq. It's just like
It's
they're
very
here
fun.
to.
My one escape room experience was the team building exercise for my grad school that I was a graduate assistant at, and I was the MVP by far because they just didn't see the Matrix like I did.
Yeah.
The last escape room I did was with a guy who designs escape rooms for a living.
Which are awesome, right? Like, so every time I ever have a conversation with an escape room owner or designer, I'm like, we're homies. You're a Magic player. It doesn't matter if you play Magic, right? Like, so at the end of this 5 escape rooms, we're talking to the owner because they opened up on a day they weren't open so that we could go do the thing. Because I mean, we paid a lot of money, right? Like it's not, even once you get discounts for doing that many, you're still dropping like I don't know, like $1,200 or something, right? So like they open up for you. And it's great. They're awesome. They're fun. And it's very fun to do it with a group of great gamers who are in it to set records, right? It's a very fun way to
do you
do it.
have like a heist team? Is there like a guy who is good at one thing? And are you okay?
Team composition
Yeah.
is important for escape rooms. You have the reader, you have the puzzler, You have the big picture. You have to have someone to be directional. Like there are roles.
Somebody has to be good at checking things, and I don't mean that in like a negative way. I mean that my group, for instance, and the 6 of us who have been doing this for, you know, whatever, almost 10 years at this point since they started becoming a thing, we have people with different strengths. I'm typically the like word puzzle kind of guy type thing. We have people who are much better with coordinates or sciencey type, mathy type puzzles. We have people who are better at just sort of like big picture, figuring out the room and sort of managing like, okay, well, what do we have next? What do we need? What are we looking for? What is this person doing to help this person? And we have if we get minorly stuck, we'll rotate stations or whatever. Like we do have it down, but I will say that though, I do think the experience of doing an escape room with a random group of, say, if I think of my wife and her coworkers, would be very different than going in with my group of gamers there to set records at a place where they keep records on the wall. And that's a thing. Like there's just a whole subculture, I think, of escape room enthusiasts where we fell because we went and did 5 in a day. And then the next day we went and did 4 more at a different location. So
I think I would do very well in an escape room with randoms. I would walk in and assert my dominance by saying mid or feed, and then they would all just subject to my will.
Because they know what mid or feed means for sure, DJ. That'll show them.
They would find out quickly, let me tell you that.
Your boomer League of Legends. You're like, let me tell you about how League of Legends was in 2014, kids.
The idea of DJ walking into a room of people he doesn't know, almost assuredly the shortest person in the room, and trying to assert dominance is delightful to me.
He's the guy from It's Always Sunny, and I don't watch the show enough to tell you which one, but he's the angry one.
I'm in charge of this escape room, guys! That's what he sounds like. He's like a mouse on the ground.
You're that clip that I keep seeing on the internet. You would be
Go
more
on.
used.
It's getting funnier by the second.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I don't remember the names, but it's the guy talking to D, and he's like, "You would be more useful to me if I killed you, skinned you, and used your skin
put you in a box
as
on my mantle." Yes,
lampshade."
I know the quote. You
Yeah,
go
that
watch
one.
the God show right after
That one.
Avatar's
Is DJ
Last Airbender.
Is this
That
you
one.
trying to assert your dominance over Corbin? Because that's not hard to do.
You know,
I know it's like kicking a.
Corbin was
wet-
built to submit.
Yeah, I'm here for it. It's fine. It's not worth any fight. But you're that guy. You're the angry guy who's always threatening to kill people. That's what you're saying you would do to these people. You would immediately hostage them and say, "Oh, I would never actually do it. It's about the implication."
You know, on the topic of escaping the topic of escape rooms, I was in a situation I wanted to escape yesterday when I played a Spiderman 2 at a Giant pre-release.
Oh gosh.
The set's really small, y'all. Every deck in the room, I think there was like 12 teams or something. Very poorly attended pre-release relative to what I'm told normally happens at this store.
That's what I've heard.
My round 1 opponent was pretty new to Magic. They were both wearing like Spider-Man shirts, and they both had clearly just bought a Spider-Man playmat. They were very excited about it. It was very fun. We crushed them. I got to my police detective card traded in combat with the Peter Porker, and I said pork on pork violence, and nobody laughed. So that's fine. Our round 2 opponents played 4 mythics and 7 rares against us. And unfortunately, our 3 mythics and 5 rares were not enough.
And that sounds like the 2 at a Giant experience right there.
Our round 3 opponent, one of them played 6 of the same common and 4 of the same uncommon. The set's really small.
Are there any
How many cards are in the set? It's like Board of the Gods level, right? It's
Are
like
there
it's
any
like a
dumb-
regular.
20 or something?
Are there any
20
dumb
is like in between of what used to be a small set and a large. It's like normally is like.
But there are a lot of
the
rares.
Gods ish is like 180, and then like a Theros level set's like 260 or something like that.
Are there any just
Yeah.
like turbo dumb rares that are just like Tome Scour?
Parker Luck into it a Giant is really good. It's a black and 2 colorless for an enchantment. It says at the beginning of your end step, choose 2 target players. Each of those players reveals the top card of their deck, and the other player loses life equal to the player's revealed card. So they can either target themselves, and they both get a Dark Confidant relative to the other
shit.
person's mana cost.
Or you just kill
Or you
them
can have
in
your
3
opponent-
turns. Yeah.
Correct. We had an opponent who did it on themselves the first turn, flipped a 5 and a 6, took 11, and then the next 2 turns of the game, double targeted us, and we flipped like 3-2 and then like 4-5.
I've got a couple.
And just died.
I've got like a goad deck this would be fun in that just does like annoying, weird stuff like this. This is a cool card. I didn't know this existed.
The other one is Maximum Carnage. Mode 3 on this saga is it deals 5 damage to each opponent.
And this is two-headed giant's 20 life, right? Or is it 30?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that deals 10, so it is huge, given that it also, does stuff.
It wasn't even an issue of like these cards that targeted both opponents were too strong. It was that my opponent was playing Spiderman block constructed. Granted, our decks were really good too. I had a game where I web slung the same Spider-Mans back and forth 3 times on the same turn because of I had the card Supportive Parents in play, which is like Birchlore Rangers for any 2 creatures. A lot of weird words being strung together here.
True. JJ will put them up on screen, don't worry. I'm looking all of these up as we go, and sure. It sounds like
Parents is
Spider-Man
actually
magic.
like a uniquely powerful card in this set, I think.
So,
I mean, it has sort of the hallmark of a powerful magic card, just in that it doesn't require, it can do the thing as soon as it comes into play and doesn't require any tapping. As you said, Birchlore Rangers, or what's the one from Morningtide?
Heritage Druid.
Yeah, Heritage Druid that really like defined a whole like decade of elves decks. It's pretty cool.
Also, it's the least realistic card in the set. Parents that are supportive,
Right.
that's just bad writing.
So I learned recently why there's no serialized card for like the Soulstone. There's no serialized Marvel card in the set.
Why?
Effectively confirmed that the licensing for serialized Marvel merchandise is separate from the licensing for Marvel itself.
And that there's a different company, I think Topps is what I heard had the licensing currently for serialized Marvel stuff.
Yes.
And so the Soulstone couldn't be serialized because Topps owns the rights to that, or currently has purchased the rights to that.
Yes. That is the prevailing. I don't know if it's confirmed, but so let's say theory.
The source that I heard it from is one that I largely trust, but again, who knows if they're a primary source or a tertiary source or whatever,
It's. I mean,
it's believable.
It's very believable, and it also makes you wonder, in terms of the printing and the actual logistics of making the cards, does Wizards just like print 500 of these anyway and like just say shrug, we didn't put a number on it, but that's how many there are in terms of the cosmic foil Soulstone.
The number of these that I have seen, again, this is purely an anecdotal thing I'm about to say. The number of these I have seen on the internet that do not appear to be spoofed auctions, because I've seen some number of those.
Yeah.
I have seen less of these than serialized Chocobos.
Yes.
Now,
Well,
that is
Chocobo
possible
is like out of
77?
77, yeah.
Yeah. If I had to guess, and again, just me spitballing, I think this is probably not as rare as Chocobos. I just feel like that's not a thing that they would do. But it certainly feels like it's less than serialized.
Yes.
Like traditional serialized, like out of 500, right? Like.
So for people who don't know, the Soulstone, there are how many different printings of it? There's 3 different printings of it, and you all are talking about the ultra rare one?
Yes, the like gold foil, the one that
I think they call it
has the
cosmic
Soul
foil
Stone.
or something, but yeah, it's the full art, borderless, textured, probably ultra fancy one that is going for some 5-digit number.
5-digit number. Okay.
Yeah.
CK listed CK had one listed originally for 20. They lowered the price to 17 or 18, and now it says out of stock.
Yeah, so somebody presumably used Card Kingdom credit. I cannot imagine that somebody just dropped cash on this. I think it was 17 that it sold for, so you can assume that's like 14.5 or 15, something like that. The conversion rate. But one of the crazier things is there are 0 of these on Card Market. Card Market being the European version of TCG Player, which traditionally is, I would say, a similar or larger market share of the European market than TCG Player is to the US. And like, there's just none. So generally, when we see these super high-end, very, very valuable cards, there's at least some number on Card Market by now, even if there's not any on TCG Player.
Which there are not.
One of the reasons for TCG Player is because you can only sell things on there early if you have pre-sales enabled, which requires some extra verification steps to be an LGS. So like normally on TCG Player, you can't have Joe Schmo just open one and list it on pre-release weekend because his store won't be viable, or his store will be viewable. Card Market does not have that same issue generally. There's normally at least one of these during pre-sales that you can base some level expectation on, and there's not. So like maybe they are unofficially serialized. Like,
So,
I mean, even
okay,
when it comes to like masterpieces and stuff like that, people have done the math for Kaladesh masterpieces back in 2016 or whatever. There's like not more than a 5-row masterpiece Soul Rings or whatever. Like that kind of thing happens where it's like, oh, we can kind of guesstimate the print run of this one card. There are probably fewer than 10K of this card. So if I buy 1,000 of them, that is X% of the print run. Like Soulstone is going to be less than that.
Okay, so I want to just recap for anybody following along here. Sort of the development in the past week here is, from what you all are hearing, is that the Soulstone Cosmic Foil, the ultra premium version of this card, but one that we think is in a level comparable to serialized, like in the ballpark of a serialized print run. But because it was not marketed as a serialized print run, no one actually knows how rare it is. Is that what?
Correct.
And the reason it is just sort of then a stealth serialized run is because a different company holds the rights to specifically serializing Marvel products. That's
allegedly, but yes.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's I just wanted to recap sort of all the information that's sort of flowing together here.
My follow-up question is, it's twofold. Why was the Sothera, the Super Void Black Hole Foil not serialized? And further, how many of those are there? Because I've seen... Those are meaningfully rare, I believe. I don't know exactly, but like I think I've seen less than 30 of them total, like listed in various places. So it makes you wonder, like, is this more rare or less rare than that? Why wasn't that one serialized? When like Mox Jasper was the set before?
Yeah, and like the
Have they
Aether
said
Spark
anything?
and all that.
Have they said anything along the lines of, say, moving away from?
I don't think so.
Serialized.
There was a set that they didn't do serialized cards for that was like between two that they did, right? It was like Ravnica Remastered had them, OTJ didn't, and then Karlov did, or maybe it was Karlov in 2023. Some of the sets had serialized cards, some of them didn't, and we just like have bounced back and forth, right?
Yes. And then Innistrad Remastered was the first time they were switching to a pick one card from the set as the spotlight card or whatever the term was. And that was Edgar Markov into the Aether Spark, into Mox Jasper, into nothing. Chocobo, yeah.
Now into nothing. Honestly, if you wanted to have made a Spider-Man, serialized card, it would be the Soulstone. So,
yeah, and I've heard a lot of different store owners talk about their varying pre-releases successes and air quotes failures. I think that this set is going to be graded on a very weird curve because there are going to be so many Magic players who just got in through Final Fantasy or Foundations or whatever, who are like, man, the Spider-Man set sucks. Boxes aren't $1,300. Collector boxes aren't $1,300. This set is poo-poo. How come Magic set no Pokemon? And like, I think that comparatively, the set will still do very well if it's being graded on a 3-year curve and not a 3-month curve.
The other thing for me is I think the set did worse than Edge of Eternities for some number of stores.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
And I wonder how much of Edge of Eternity's success was just leftover buoy from the Final Fantasy.
From Final Fantasy. A non-zero, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think Edge was a cool set, but...
I think that in a lot... So this is something I've seen kind of reflected in parts of my own extended Magic group, which has been expanding recently. One of the newer players said, quote, I think I'm fucked from joining Magic, from getting hooked on Magic during Final Fantasy and expecting $400 cards. That was a direct quote. Because they were like looking for stuff, but then, not hitting anything big when they open one collector booster and just kind of feeling meh. about it because it was such a gambling high of Final Fantasy. But also I think there's just sort of a, you know, for a game that doesn't have any natural peaks and valleys in the way, say, professional sports do, right? There's no off season for Magic. The closest you ever really get is when you get to the summer and you have the core set or whatever. But these days, that's not like that. It's just not really an off season, right? And I do think that Final Fantasy was a high point. Obviously, it was a high point in terms of sales, which is then reflected, you know, is connected also to a high point of interest. But I think it's just natural that there would be some amount of cooldown, even if it sort of comes back. And the first set that was sort of bad after Final Fantasy was probably going to absorb some of that. And it makes sense that Spider-Man kind of catches the axe there, given all the problems with the set's design from a high level that are then reflected in the pre-release experience Cass is describing. So I think what really will be the test is what happens when we get to Avatar.
So I actually think it's funny where if I think they didn't release Spider-Man this year and we just went Final Fantasy, Edge of Eternity's Avatar would have been gangbusters, blowing out the doors, like $12 collector boxes from the get. Because people were like, people I know who even like Spider-Man are like, I'm not super excited for Spider-Man, but I'm really excited for Avatar. And I almost wonder if Spider-Man releasing in the middle of this sort of drags Avatar down a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to make Avatar tank or anything, but
maybe it definitely, and I don't want to get too into like internet drama, but there's a big discourse
the Disney kerfuffle. Is that what you're going to say?
It wasn't.
No.
Actually,
That's
I
what
was
the point
just
to
gonna,
make, though, eventually.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about universes beyond haters saying things like there's been an active desire voiced among some contingent of the community to want to see the set fail as they think that if the set fails, if we do enough flame memes, they'll cancel Universes Beyond type stuff. And it's just sort of like, to me, just sort of just doesn't feel good to fun. I mean, I play the hobby to have fun, and even if the set kind of sucks, like, it doesn't feel good to see people rooting against Magic, I guess, who ostensibly like Magic. A lot of people don't play
Magic to have fun.
Yeah, so I don't know.
A lot of people play Magic to be right.
Yeah, that's probably true, Cass. In fact, that's definitely true.
I had to sludge through an hour-long video of somebody, because I saw somebody in the Discord server say effectively, help me get this Universes Beyond bullshit off my desk. It's the fucking worst. I hate it. I just want my inventory to be clean, pure, white Christian Magic cards or whatever. Like, and that was such a funny like.
Thank you. I'm a comedian.
So like I replied and said I will buy these off your hands, whatever. And I also said, do you think that this is bad because you don't like what Magic has become, or do you think it is bad for the game overall? And they said both. And then they sent me a link to a YouTube video that was an hour long that was like, all my points are in here. And there were a lot of bad points that I had to sift through, like so many bad, like porcupine levels of bad points. And like it's just like so many cherry picked like examples of just like, oh, and this is why the Universes Beyond will slowly consume Magic from within, and like all this just god.
This is why Universes Beyond is gonna slowly erode at our society.
So Spider-Man booster boxes, collector booster boxes are 600 right now. So to DJ's point about it doing well over the long term, I do think there's probably difference if you end up getting your box at 500 to 600 than if you bought it 800 to 900. And there was a week there where Spider-Man collector boxes were 900, and we talked about it on this podcast, were $950 on TCG, having run up several $100s. So I think it's also possible that maybe the set just sucked, right? Not to be too reductive about it, but maybe there just weren't a bunch of good cards, because it looks like an extended secret layer of Across the Spider-Verse, more so than it does.
I don't know if that matters in the long term.
Yeah,
But in the short term, I think it does.
In the short term, it definitely does. But
that's what brought it down, from $1,000, right?
Yeah.
But like now the price point is 500 to 600. Maybe that's okay, right? Like, I don't know.
I spent around 2,500 today on the Spider-Man secret layers that came out, and I am generally on the just buy every secret layer that comes out almost all the time plan. And the first Marvel secret layers, of course, did very well. And I think that secret layers generally break down into one of three categories. There's the category that is just bad, and I think most of those are relegated to just layers that feature a certain artist who already does magic cards and don't break the traditional magic frame. Like, oh, hey, like this artist just did some magic cards, and like that's just the way it is. I think those secret layers tend to not do very well. There's the layers that are really valuable sealed but never worth cracking, and I think the main one that comes to mind for this is Street Fighter. Street Fighter secret layers are like $70-$80 on TCG, but if you crack them, you lose like 100% of the money. It's great. It's just like all the singles are very, very affordable, but the sealed layer itself continues to sell pretty well, but it's just not worth cracking. And then there's the crackable ones that are just like very good, and Marvel falls into this category. The Marvel layers, like I've bought Marvel layers off people on Discord at like TCG low minus some percent, and they're just worth cracking. They're almost like the commander decks where it's like you can just buy this and open it and do the work of listing, and then you make some amount of money. It's crazy. And I think that the Spider-Man secret layers are going to fall into number 2 or number 3 regardless, which just makes them buys. Like you should just buy these. And even if release weekend goes poor, like I know the Sonic ones didn't age super well immediately, but I don't think that matters in the long term either. Like I think the Sonic ones are going to end up in pile 3 or no, pile 2, where it's like they're not crackable, but the layer itself is good. And I think that Spider-Man can either fall into bucket 2 or bucket 3, where it's like you just buy them all and then check 6 months later, either the sealed product will be worth reselling or the singles will be worth cracking and selling. Like it's really hard to lose money on the secret layer stuff, and I would much rather spend $2,500 on all the secret layers than 5 collector booster boxes for sure.
Agreed.
Like 100% of the time.
Agreed.
I have one other data point to add here before we move on. And this is certainly a podcast topic for the future. The Final Fantasy collector booster boxes have plummeted at the same time that the Spider-Man collector booster boxes have plummeted. The price on Final Fantasy collector booster boxes at the beginning of August was $1,300 to $1,400 on TCG Player. It's in more or less free fall at the moment and is around the $1,200 to $1,225 mark.
Also, like calling 10 to 15% drop a free fall is like,
in the context of the 3-month chart, right? If we pull it back, it looks more of a correction, to be clear. But what I'm saying is, in the past month, they've dropped $100, which for a product that has done nothing but go up thus far is a notable correction.
Sure.
the infinite money glitch ends eventually. Like that product cannot just continue to go up forever.
I think it's interesting that it's going down at the same time we see the Spider-Man collector boxes going down. Perhaps some people see the falling Spider-Man collector boxes and say, maybe this whole collector booster box is, I don't want to use the word bubble and upset that conversation, but maybe some people are getting out for a reason. Like maybe some of the people who made money on Final Fantasy and then wanted to make money on Spider-Man are saying, oops, Spider-Man's not making money, and they are locking in money on Final Fantasy as a result. I don't know.
So
I'm just trying to posit,
point.
figure out why the data is dropping.
This is I actually am using our sponsor, Ban, MTG Ban, the tools to look at the price of a Fallout Collector booster box.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout boxes haven't particularly dropped with Spider-Man's advent, have they?
Fallout boxes also break my brain. That's like, yeah, you're right.
But that's what I'm saying is like, eventually they're going to run out of collector boxes of Final Fantasy to crack on Whatnot streams. Eventually Chun-Li is going to have to start paying more money for them.
I agree.
Do we see a world in which a Final Fantasy collector box is $2,000 someday? I think the answer is possibly pretty likely. There's only so many of them that exist. They're going to get more and more rare. I mean, I know it's not Pokemon, and I know this is like a 20-something-year-old set, but like sealed Deoxys booster boxes are to 40 grand.
To your point,
and
Cass,
the best card you can open is like 20k if it's graded 10.
To your point, Lord of the Rings collector booster boxes this year, over the past year, despite having obviously cards in them, cards like desirable cards banned, out of it have basically doubled in price from the past year up to like 12 or 1300 now. So yes,
Something
I think that is a very relevant data point, that if there is cooling off, it seems much more of a correction period rather than a sky is falling moment.
As somebody who watches a fair amount of TikToks and gets presented with a lot of TikTok lives of people opening packs, I watch, with a curious mind. I kind of see what's going on. And if you're someone who doesn't really play that much Magic, but you go on, there's a TikTok stream and someone's opening Fallout cards and you're a Fallout fan, you're like, yeah, I'd spend $100 to get some really cool Fallout collectibles, and you just buy a pack, and then they open it on stream and they mail it to you, and you get the parasocial interaction. Like there is. It's not for me, but it's for a lot of people. Like I log on to TikTok and I see people with 50,000 viewers opening Pokemon packs and being like little heart emojis with their fingers and being like, "Oh my god, guys, so much Poke love! Oh, we opened a Bulbasaur!" And it's like there's a parasocial relationship aspect to it too. There, that is there a price that you can charge for a Fallout booster box that matters at that point? Or for a Final
Season
Fantasy
2 of
box?
Fallout drops in December, by the way.
Very relevant data point right there.
Yeah, how many boxes do you buy right now? A TCG low on a sealed box is what? 1,000? No.
Card Kingdom's paying 1,000 for a Fallout booster box.
Yeah. The first English booster box on TCG, $1,600.
Wow. That's wild.
Japanese boxes on TCG for $860.
Wild. Popular fandom, I suppose. Okay,
Also, the last note on the Marvel Spider-Man stuff before we move on to Breaking Bulk. Before I win Breaking Bulk. But like, there's a small thing about Disney that could impact. It's just like one more issue for the set, I think, where Disney Plus is seeing a lot of people cancel their subscriptions. I will not get into the weeds about why, but there are relationships between Disney and Marvel, and relationships between Disney and a bunch of people being mad at them for other reasons right now. And I don't think it's I don't think it's like dropping the pre-release numbers. I don't think there are people out there going like, "Oh, we can't go to our LGS's pre-release because Disney did this thing." Like I don't think that's the case, but it is just another drop in the bucket for that can go against the set in the long term, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Paying attention to these sorts of things does matter for Magic Finance, no matter what the mods tell you.
All right, it's time for Breaking Bulk.
Breaking Bulk time.
As a reminder, one way to get access to all the data on all the Breaking Bulks you're about to see is to go to our sponsor, MTG Band. DJ, tell them what all they can do on MTG Band Network.
MTG Ban is a incredible tool that I have used for the past several years, and it gives you basically all the data for any card, any sealed product, any sort of collection that you want to buy. You can import TCG collection trackers, you can import Moxfield CSVs, Mana Box. You can upload your whole TCG player inventory and then get the best buy list data and which buy list to send it to. You can do an incredible number of just wizardry things with the data, not limited to, but including just individual card prices, using the Scryfall notation to get specific lists of cards that you want to analyze as a subset. So I could go to Ban and type in is dual set revised, and then get all the revised duels if I'm pricing duels for a show. I can find out the exact price of one of every Cons of Tarkir non-foil in a matter of seconds. Just so much data at your fingertips, and depending on how much you want to pay, you get access to more and more data, so it's very scalable depending on the time you want to put into Magic. You listen to this podcast because, number one, you like listening to me be mad at Corbin, or number two, you want to have us make a little bit of money for you while playing Magic. And depending on if you want to just have this as a little side hustle, or if this is your full-time gig and we are just your entertainment, Ban has a price tier for you. Use promo code BSB50 to get 50% off. That is 50% off your first month. So if you want to try out the vintage tier, that is quite a bit of money. I use the vintage tier. I have paid for it in full for several years before this sponsorship. If you are somebody that buys and sells cards on a regular basis, it is a tool that will save you dozens of hours per month.
Can't say it better than that, and you can't play the game better than this. It is a black uncommon from Edge of Eternities that y'all won't be getting.
Clean transition.
Thank you.
I always knew that would happen with you, Corbin. Is it black uncommon from Wilds of Eldraine or Throne of Eldraine?
Edge of Eternities. Might have misspoke there. Yeah.
Is it the 3/2 for 2, the Zealot? Umbral Caller Zealot?
It is Cass. It is Umbral Caller Zealot.
I love it when
3/2 for
Cass
2.
gets these, so I don't have to not know them.
Yeah. Sacrifice another creature or artifact. Surveil 1. And a 3/2 for 2. Very good card, just all around.
Who the,
and it's
who
$1.
the hell do you think I am, Corbin?
It was a shot. It's not that played, really. It's just kind of a card that exists. I don't know.
It's
They don't really make a ton of free sacrifice outlets anymore.
I agree.
It's
They
2 mana
also-
3/2.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
They
It
also
goes in
don't
Samwise combo.
Do they make cards nowadays that
that's
can
why.
still sacrifice themselves freely? They don't really
Sometimes.
do that, right?
Sometimes, but not often. Usually it's like at rare, and usually it's a higher mana cost. But yeah.
This one's
Samwise
sacrifice
combo makes
another creature or artifact. Like, they don't really do a Viscera Seer thing where it's
Oh.
like, you just can't kill this, I will always get value out of it.
Notably, too, this is like a Viscera Seer / Carrion Feeder thing that also works with artifacts specifically, which is very rarely is it both, right? Like,
Right.
Bartolome del Presidio, I think, was the last thing that was like a good rate sack outlet that got artifacts and creatures. And in a world in which you play a Gilded Goose and make a food token, being able to sack either tier thing is potentially valuable.
Yes.
True. Very true. Okay, Cass, what are you looking at this week then? We'll see if I can return the guess.
I have a Modern Horizons 3 white rare.
I cannot. Orum's Chant.
No. That would be a plane shift card. I don't cheat.
I think he got the right Modern Horizon set, so I want to give him, like,
Good.
a participation point for that.
Thank you. I like those.
Yeah, Corbin, I respect you for now.
I'm on the scoreboard, you know? I may not win, but I'm on the scoreboard.
Any guesses, DJ?
MH3 white rare. Is it the flare?
When you say MH3, my brain is blinded by some
Flare-
stupid simic bird.
Flare of virtue or flare of whatever?
Fortitude. Flare of Fortitude.
It's not Flare of Fortitude, although I do think that card's very cool.
Who? I'm
The fact that
rusty.
I've been getting y'all with rares
Fe-
lately is really
Felia.
embarrassing for you. It's not
Failure.
Felia. You get one more guess before I call it.
Felia's
because
like
you'll have
$8,
guessed-
isn't it?
I know, man, but it's a white rare.
Once you've guessed half the rares, I get to end it. DJ, you got one more, and don't be cheating.
I'm
see you
cheating.
typing.
I'm cheating.
It's Wrath of the Skies.
Oh.
The card is
Sure.
49 cents with a buy list of 75 cents and a direct premium of $4.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not making
Yeah,
that much more MH3. People aren't
the
really
card-
opening it that much anymore.
Yeah, that card is super important to Modern right now.
It's
and
good in
will be at the
Legacy,
Pro
too?
Tour. Yeah, it'll be super important at the Pro Tour next week.
It's Pernicious Deed on a white card. It's a Wrath that scales. It makes energy. This card slices. It dices.
It does. It's pretty
It
important.
wraths and it's of the skies.
It's the main reason the Boros Energy deck is like not just sort of, I think, dominant, is that Wrath of the Skies cleans it up so well.
And it's funny because it's also part of a bunch of plans that Boros Energy has where they can go bigger in
Exactly.
sideboard games.
Yeah, when they play against Affinity or something and really need to bear down. Yep, it's just a very
Power-
versatile, powerful card.
It's also just one of the coolest Wraths we've ever had. I love Pernicious Deed. I think that card's really interesting. And the fact you can split up the mana for it.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
being,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
split up the mana by creating energy in other ways, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
They play Tune the Narrative as a result, which is kind of cool because it's objectively a bad cantrip otherwise.
Yep.
All right, DJ, what are you looking at?
All right. I have a red Bloomborough uncommon.
This could be like 100 things. Wow. So it's not Monstrous Rage, I'm going to say. I'm guessing.
I think Monstrous Rage is Wilds of Eldraine.
You're right. It feels like a Bloomborough card.
It does.
Hired Claw. Is
No.
that a rare?
That's a rare. Heartfire Hero? Just after getting
No.
banned, is it back on the come up? Okay. Mono Red.
Mono red.
Wow. My brain is just blanking super hard on Bloomborough.
What set
right
did
now.
you say?
Bloomborough.
Is it a threaten?
No.
Is it, there's the 2-mana raccoon, whenever you cast a 4-mana spell, it does something like it like impulse draws?
No.
Okay.
You're close,
Do you-
kind of. Two of the things you described there are kind of accurate about the card.
It's a raccoon with the 4-mana like set ability. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not a raccoon.
Okay.
All right, what is it?
I'll die then.
Also, we lost your camera.
Yeah, I'm fixing it.
That's okay. It is. Oh god, how do I pronounce this word? This is gonna be another scoured situation. Coruscation Mage. What is a coruscation?
Chorus. Yeah, it's the offspring guy, the deal damage each opponent. I lost that.
Yeah, but I don't know what a coruscation is.
Coruscate is like, I think it's a type of scouring. I think it's like electrically scour something.
Coruscation is a noun referring to a sudden flash or gleam of light, like a flash of lightning on moonlight or water, or, more metaphorically, a striking display of brilliance or wit.
Thanks, ChatGPT. Coruscation Mage is just whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 to each opponent, and you can offspring it, and then if you're playing two-headed giant, the card will do a lot of damage, and it's in the gutter snipe-ish category. There's just a lot of these cards historically that will do the thing, and card retails for roughly $1, and Card Kingdom will pay you 45 cents for them. Cool Stuff will pay you 50 cents for them. TCG low is 29 cents, but the market price is 78 cents. And all of this data is on ban. I can see the price of the foil at the same time. I can also type in S:BLB R:U ampersand to get every Bloomborough uncommon sorted by price, which is Into the Floodmaw, Patchwork Banner, Stormcatch Mentor, Fell, Overprotect, Coruscation Mage, Starscape Cleric. You get so much data. It loads instantly. You can look up sealed product. I mentioned all those secret lair shenanigans earlier, the different buckets they fall into. I use ban to find that out. I constantly run all my sealed product through ban to find out which secret lairs are worth cracking and which are worth keeping sealed and which are worth selling separately. Just so much data. There's a newspaper there. You can check to see the daily and weekly trends and increases and decreases in volume. I don't use that one personally as much, but I know other people with different business models who ascribe to it.
Not to mention ban again, but they are sponsoring us. I looked up Bloomborough collector boxes on there. CK is paying $617 for a collector box for a set in standard.
That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
What a world we live in. Like, Bloomborough collector boxes are $800. That set came out last year?
And it was not Universes Beyond.
No.
Just very popular.
And just to speak to the what notification and the like we were talking about, the TikTok and the streaming, all that stuff, the TCG Low EV of a Bloomborough collector box is $250.
Yes.
If you're cracking these, you are hemorrhaging. The only way you are making money on this is if you are either selling to the end user of the live streaming and the whatnotting, or you are that person themselves. It's a really, really weird world we live in that is taking some time to adjust to and just learn all of the insane ways the market operates now. We are sponsored by DraftKings. No, I'm kidding.
There's an LGS opening in my town that they're mainly whatnot sports card guys, and they wanted to open a store to have a storefront to get into other games get better lines on product. Man, that's the world they live in. Like that sports card whatnot world. It's enough. That's their business.
In this same vein of conversation, right now, CK is paying $247 on a OTJ collector box, and TCG Low is $300. That's a small margin.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wonder if the sets that haven't popped yet are worth grabbing.
It does make you wonder that.
I personally wouldn't do OTJ, but I know Duskmourn started climbing again recently. Collector boxes are kind of, I hate to say it, but I think I'd rather have a good collector box for show inventory than I'd rather have a good card of equal value.
Wow. I think that might be true.
Would I rather have a Bloomborough collector box or a nice Underground Sea to sell, to put out at a show? And the answer is pretty firmly a Bloomborough collector box.
You can only fit so many of those behind the booth, though. The catch with the boxes is physical space. That is the biggest.
They're not that.
The other thing, too, is I get to break it down into 12 pieces and serve 12 customers who are willing to spend smaller amounts of money. So it's kind of not a fair comparison. But
the conceptually, because you're
the first of each, I'd rather have the Bloomborough.
Sure.
Talking $600-700. All right. Well, there can be plenty of that on display next week as in Atlanta because the Pro Tour is modern. So we don't have a time to get too much into this, but I do want to highlight what the metagame looks like going in for anybody who is not familiar and may be interested in checking out the Pro Tour this weekend, or, you're on this for financial reasons and you're just really not sure what's going on. Heading into the Pro Tour, the metagame share of the winners metagame share. So that means your top eights of the lists from the biggest modern events, including SCGs and European events and online events and NRG events. This is what it looks like according to one Hall of Famer, Frank Karsten. Number 1, 15% of the winners metagame share, Boros Energy. Number 2 with 11% of that share, and the deck that won the NRG last weekend, Tameshi Belcher, Charbelcher. With Tameshi. Could see a big Tameshi run over the weekend. Number 3 with 10%, Eldrazi Tron. And then following from this, everything else is 5% or lower. Esper Gorios. Is it Affinity? Esper Blink. Is it Prowess? Domain Zoo. Ruby Storm. Eldrazi Ramp. Azorius Control. Amulet Titan. Grixis Reanimator. Simic Neoform. Dimir Murktide. Samwise Gamgee Combo. Dimir Mill. And Living End. And then still 12% of the field is just other even after that. So that's the metagame heading into the Pro Tour. Now, like I said, Charbelcher, Tameshi, these are cards that could have big weekends. There's always, I think I've looked at Atraxa, Grand Unifier as a card that could pop up and
I own so many Tameshis. I was sent a large pile of them in a collection recently.
Samwise Gamgee could go on a run. Affinity is a really cool deck that could go on a run.
The number that really surprises me there is how underrepresented Amulet is, and I think it will be more represented at the Pro Tour, where the number of players who are capable of playing it at a high level is much higher.
I would think so, yes. And there's so many people who play at the Pro Tour level who simply love Amulet that they will find the best version of the deck. And
I just watched the Sam Heuristic Studies video, the Oops All Spells one.
Yeah.
And he makes a great point in there about how higher end players are less likely to play decks that are Belcher-esque because they are just the on-off switch as opposed to having all these decision points. Although I don't know if Belcher is that anymore. Like, Belcher has arguably more decision points than Amulet Titan, so I don't know.
Well, I think Belcher, the games go longer, but your deck has 20 counter spells, whereas Amulet, your decisions are very compressed into 1 or 2 turns.
Yeah.
Amulet is the most individually powerful thing in Modern, and it has been for quite a while.
Yeah, Amulet is for people who really love flowcharts, essentially, and memorizing them. You can be great at Amulet.
What I'm speaking to, though, is I think it's also good. It's a good flowchart.
Oh, for sure. I'm not disparaging the deck at all. I'd say that those are the type of people it appeals to, and the Pro Tour is heavily populated by that type of person. So I think Amulet's going to have a big weekend, yeah.
What happens when you convince Javier Dominguez to play Amulet Titan? That's monstrous. That's terrifying to me.
Yeah, we'll find out. Shout out to Cosmos Heavy Plays, that team, by the way. I have a feature article on them coming out this week on magic.gg. All right, let's move on. That's Pro Tour. It's going to be plenty of content about that over the next few weeks.
It's also going to be a Magic Con, and it's the first Magic Con since Vegas, which I think is worth mentioning. It's also going to be in the same city as, next year we're also only getting a Vegas and Atlanta. This year we had a Chicago, and Chicago got cut, so next year it is just Vegas, Atlanta / Amsterdam off in its own little thing in Europe. But, that's relevant too, that we're getting a once a year in Atlanta guaranteed Magic Con, and it's going to be tied to another Universes Beyond. We saw, obviously Final Fantasy Vegas was crazy. We already talked about all that, but I don't know what to expect from Atlanta. I know it's going to be busy. I know I'm going to be working the whole weekend. I know it's going to be a lot of physical human players in the room.
Be smaller than Vegas.
But it's going to be smaller than Vegas, but that's a given. And I don't know
if that's true.
I think it will be.
Atlanta's a lot more accessible of a city.
Yes, but Final Fantasy was just a perfect storm. It was just a perfect storm. Just everyone I know who does one event a year, they did Vegas for Final Fantasy.
Sure.
And that's, but so that's my impression, is that it'll be lower. The Atlanta Magic Con or Atlanta Spotlight, though, at the beginning of the year, that Nick Odenheimer won, was packed compared to all the spotlights that followed. So you might be right that
it's just really easy to get to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be. I think there's going to be a lot of announcements. I think that we have. I think that the official Magic the Gathering account. Follow me here. Wished Bilbo Baggins a happy birthday today.
It's Bilbo Baggins' birthday.
Yeah, but it wasn't just like a one-off. We're doing brand, capital B, kind of thing. It was like a video, maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like an actual video that Wizards made. Some people were speculating that there would be an announcement this weekend at the MagicCon of a return to Middle Earth.
Well,
perhaps for The Hobbit.
I would be so thrilled if that was the case. I could also see it being an old marketing thing that they still had. They're like, yeah, let's fire it off. It's Bilbo's birthday.
Exactly. Yeah.
It really go either way.
A bunch of stores recently got a poster that was not attached to any sort of marketing information or guidelines from Wizards, but they got a Chocobo poster that said Magic Final Fantasy *, wait till Magic Con Atlanta for our big announcement. Please put this up in your store, etc.
Really?
Yes. And so there is going to be some form of announcement for Final Fantasy at Atlanta. I think the biggest
holiday stuff, right? Gotta be holiday stuff.
Again, like a Lord of the Rings holiday version, but for Final Fantasy. So stay tuned for that. The Final Fantasy may not be done yet. There may be second wind of insanity and craziness, and
those Lord of the Rings products were worth infinite money.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
before we move on to picks of the week, I have a strange thought.
Okay.
5-10 years down the line, do we get Beyond Masters, like a compilation of the best Universes Beyond cards? Obviously, licensing becomes a nightmare for that, but maybe we get a set 5 years down the line that's just Universes Within versions of the best cards from Universes Beyond.
Probably.
Thinking about them announcing Lord of the Rings and Final Fantasy stuff on the same weekend has my brain about to explode.
Yeah, I think that is a very real possibility. That is, Beyond Masters.
I think that there's a high probability of that happening at some point when they need to reprint the One Ring plus Vivi plus Bowmasters, etc.
Ban all the good cards from Universes Beyond. It's not a problem.
And then you get your Fleam excited. All your Fleamers out there who are like, it's not Vivi, it's Fleam.
If we spam Fleam enough, they'll cancel Universes Beyond.
Is that a genuine quote you saw?
It is the sentiment, yes.
That's so funny.
Yes. I'm not trying to dive too deep into internet drama this week, but yes, that is a gist of it, is that the idea is you can frame it differently. You can frame it as, if we show enough excitement for Universes Within products, they're more likely to do Universes Within rather than Universes Beyond. But yes, it is related to the fact that people do not like Universes Beyond.
Magic players will do anything but get a job.
Wizards tried to push loot on them. They hated it. Wizards tried to do Fibblethip. It went pretty mid. They hated every time Wizards has ever tried to do a mascot type thing like this, until it became an anti-Universes Beyond avatar. Then all of a sudden we love it. And I'm sure Wizards is like, oh, we get to sell you Fleam now? Oh, man, you really showed us. Darn it.
Here's your Hurloon Minotaur jacket.
What are we... Anyway, that's
you guys
that's my
get to
take
paint
on
a
that.
fence, lucky y'all.
Maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of that going on. All right, it's also time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
There's a song there. That's what I was trying to do, was the song.
Time for the pick of the week. My pick of this week is another Modern Horizons 3 card that's kind of at a pretty reasonable floor that I think we'll see some play at the Pro Tour. and is maybe one of the best cards in MH3. Not the best, for sure, but Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog is my guy.
The frog.
The card is like $7, if that.
That's the kind of card pros like to play with.
It's also a card you mentioned, Atraxa. It goes hand in hand with these Atraxagorios Vengeance decks in Modern.
Mm-hmm.
Psychic Frog is $6.70 TCG low, $5.66 market price. You don't see a market price being lower than TCG low very often.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting where you open up the listing for Psychic Frog on TCG and you scroll, and it's like $5.60.
Oh, sorry.
$6.
I was looking at the promo stamped
Promo pack.
Planeswalker version. That is my bad.
But like, by the time, I don't know what, 30 copies have sold, we're up to 7.
yeah,
you know,
no,
40
I
copies
was
have sold, we're up to 8.
I was looking at the wrong data. The TCG low
Okay.
for the regular old meat and potato Psychic Frog is $4.50, and Card Game is paying $5.50. That is the data. That is the number you. And they're buying 135. So
Also,
CK sells it for 10. You can also just see that on ban. You're like, oh, they're paying $5.50. They're selling it for 10. That's just all on the ban page. So when CK charges 2x TCG low, pay attention.
additionally, another point of data that I think is really worth looking at is average daily sold on TCG. 18
That's
Psychic
really
Frogs
important.
sell a day on average.
That's very, very important.
So 4 playsets sell a day on average. We're about to have a Pro Tour happen where presumably more are going to sell. I don't know. I feel like if you want your set of Psychic Frogs to play with, just get them now.
For sure.
I agree.
And it sells as a 4 of 100%.
Yep.
All right, I'll jump in with a Final Fantasy card. This is occasionally, I've seen it as a combo enabler. Also just a powerful card. The Fire Crystal has kind of climbed from $4 up to like $5.50 over the past, I don't know, couple of weeks. It's off of its low of $2.50 at its bottom. The card's just really powerful, like all of the crystals are, but the Fire Crystal in particular, discounting your red spells, giving your creatures haste, that kind of has combo potential in a storm type color, even if that isn't exactly where it's seen play right now. It sees play in those kind of decks. So either way, the chart has just been creeping up. Basically, the card has gone from $2.50 to $5 over the past 2 months since the release. I see no reason not to pick up the Fire Crystal, especially if you like the full art version, which I think looks pretty sick and is more or less flat at
you
10.
can wait 5 years for Beyond Masters and show fucking Watsy by not buying the Fire Crystal version. Get him!
So true. They're going to call it the Flame Crystal.
If they put the Fire Crystal in a
The Chandra Crystal.
in Modern Horizons set, no one would know that you could put this exact card in any Magic set. Yeah, I could not tell you that it was a Final Fantasy card. I'll tell you, it's just so generic.
There's definitely someone out there who's like, I hate this universe's beyond crap, guys. I miss the Gatewatch. That guy exists, and there's one of them. God, when am I going to get the Oath of the Gatewatch back?
Oh, yes. All right, DJ, pick of the week. What do you got?
My pick of the week is a new Phyrexia common, Suture Priest.
Oh, I love that card.
It's a good breaking bulk, but I think it's a great pick of the week because on all of the versions, Card Kingdom is paying, guess it, above TCG low. That's correct.
That's
Even
what you wanna
for
hear.
lightly played, moderately played copies, Card Kingdom is paying more than TCG low on the new Phyrexia version. It is a card that has not ever seen a reprint beyond the list, which doesn't count, and March of the Machine Commander, sure. But it is, I mean, Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, all of these are just always expensive, and those ones creep up to $5 before you know it. You're just buying your Soul's Attendant. You're like, why did I pay $5 for a Rise of the Eldrazi common? You're gonna probably pay $5 for a Suture Priest soon-ish if you do not get them now. There's so many life gain cards in the past few sets, like the
Halia has been spiking.
what has?
Yeah.
Halia. It's like just some random life gain Soul Sister card that can warp in for 1, and it's
Sure.
been going into decks.
That's
in
one of
Modern.
the main characters of Edge of Eternity story. Come on, Corbin,
Sure,
keep
that.
with it.
Yeah, that.
That's why it's like people love Magic Story so much.
Yeah, that.
And what was I gonna say? There is a decent number of life gainy things in Final Fantasy and Edge of Eternities with the mill cards equal to your life total. Like there's Hope Esthame or something like that. Like there's blue-white life gain. There's just a lot of life gain stuff going around. Suture Priest is a very horrifying looking soul sister, but it is a sister.
There you go. Well, everybody, I think that wraps it up for this week. We're all headed off. I think all of us, at least, are headed off to Atlanta. Cash, you're in Atlanta, right?
No, I'm working a local card show instead.
Oh, well, there you go. If you are in Atlanta, say hi to DJ and I. If you are around Cash, you can go say hi at the card show. So we all are unable to escape magic for the past week. So we thank all of you for hanging out with us here on Brainstorm Brewery. We thank all of our patrons who go to patreon.com/BSB, who are, of course, the reason that this show is possible. So thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next week.